All right, so the goal today, we are going to write our 2 body paragraphs of our argumentative essays. Last week, you guys did an outline where you wrote your claim, you wrote your 2 reasons. You did this based on the simulated violence, whether or not you think simulated violence is dangerous or bad, or whether or not you think that simulated violence is simply fun and engaging, okay? So you are going to be writing an essay about simulated violence, and if it is beneficial or if it is terrible or vice versa. You're going to pick a side, and that is the goal. Our goal today for our writing is our 2 body paragraphs, okay? These should be the hopefully easiest for you because we're going to be doing what is called a flash draft, and a flash draft is you're just going to quickly write. We're only going to make you put in 1 piece of evidence right now. We're going to add more later just to get your thoughts down on a page and get started. Then later on this week, we're going to write our intro, we're going to write our counterclaim and rebuttal, and then we'll write our conclusion and get this kind of put together separately and add to it as we go. All right. So to refresh, your body paragraphs are going to follow the RACES format. So I'm just going to type this really quick, and I want you to refresh your memory. Restate the question. Okay, and in this case, the question is, is simulated violence bad? We'll get probably a more detailed prompt here later. A is answer, right? Yes, I think this. No, I don't. C is citing evidence. As of right now, you are going to cite evidence from hijinks shootout, okay? You all have a physical copy. If you lost it, that's okay. I have it in Schoology. E, this is critical. This is where you explain your evidence. When you guys were just talking about that letter with Miss Moore, a lot of you said, we need more evidence and we need a stronger explanation. That E is critical. And then C, you sum it back up. That this is what makes you stay on topic because it's going to keep you focused, okay? Keep focused and stay on topic, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you quickly what this looks like. And then your goal today, like I said, is your 2 body paragraphs. So if you have 2 body paragraphs, what is each paragraph going to be? Okay, so each body paragraph is going to be a reason. So if you go back and look at this outline, maybe your claim is simulated violence is great. Simulated violence is beneficial to kids. Your first reason, maybe it's because it brings people together. You're going to write a whole body paragraph about how it brings people together. And then maybe your second reason is that it allows you to work on your problem-solving skills. You're going to write a whole paragraph about problem-solving skills. Both paragraphs are going to use the RACES format. Okay? Now, based on what I was looking, most of us are rooting for the simulated violent games. So Mrs. Kane is going to do the other side here, okay? So my claim, we're going to pretend while I'm writing my sample, my claim is that simulated violence is dangerous for kids. That is what my claim. We're going to pretend that Mrs. Kane's claim is that, okay? So I'm going to write 1 body paragraph here. You do not need to write this down, but what you're going to do is you're just going to pay attention to what I'm saying, and then you're going to kind of format your body paragraphs very similar. Remember, we're only doing 1 piece of evidence today. We will add more later. In fact, we're going to research more later, but that's a different side of the story. Okay, so my claim, again, is that simulated violence is bad for kids. Okay, it's dangerous for kids. So I want to include that in my body paragraph. Okay, so I'm going to start with a transition word. So I would say, first of all, you do not need to write this down. But don't forget, maybe you jot a note. I needed to use transitions. First of all, simulated violence is not beneficial for kids. We'll say young children because, so there's my R, simulated violence is not beneficial for children because, and my A is, we'll go with it causes them to think too much about dangerous situations. Okay, there's my A. So here's my R. Here's my A. So then my C comes next. All right. So this is where I'm going to cite my evidence. For example, in the article, Jinx Shootout by Guy Martin, it states I'll do a paraphrase. In paragraph 3, it talks about how one player had to contact an airport to get special permission to use a squirt fish in their water gun fight. He did not want to take a water gun to the airport. Okay, so that is my paraphrase. Okay, because of that paraphrase, that is my C. This right here is all my C. That is my evidence. Now I'm going to explain it. Why does this prove that it causes them to think about dangerous situations? So clearly, simulated violence causes young kids to think about violent situations, because if they weren't prepared for violence, they wouldn't have thought twice about taking what looked like a gun to the airport. And I keep doing that. And then I'm going to add just a little bit more, maybe a little bit extra sass here. Okay, so there is too much violence already in this world that we shouldn't have to add fake violence to keep things interesting. Okay, all right, so there is my E right here. Okay, now last thing I need to do is S, sum it up. All right, the S, the sum it up, I'm bringing it back to my main claim, because that's what keeps my entire piece of writing focused. My main claim, again, is that simulated violence is not beneficial for children, okay? So I'm going to end again, right? I'm going to sum it up. Simulated violence is not something that children these days need to be exposed to when there is too much other violence to think about. Okay? And then what I would do is I'm going to add my second body paragraph, which is my second reason. Remember, you only need one piece of evidence today. Tomorrow we're going to add more. Okay? This is just a flash draft. Did you see how quickly you just want to get your thoughts down? Okay? Grammar doesn't matter right now. I know your language arts teacher just said that. If you want to make it matter right now, please, that's fine. But this is a draft. This is just getting your thoughts on paper. Okay, so I want to show you. I am going to put this on Schoology, but I'm going to show you what is on Schoology for you. Okay, everybody should already have this, your plan. I will put a link for this on Schoology. But if you go to Schoology in the class materials and the writing folder, there is a new folder there with a precious little image. It is a position papers folder. What you have in here is hijinks shootout, in case you lost your physical copy of the article. Then you have the rubric here. And this is our goal. You are going to write an argumentative piece of writing. This one is going to be for practice. The next one that we write is going to be for mastery, but it is worth 24 practice points, so it's still a big deal, okay? And you are writing your claim about whether or not role-playing games are helpful or hurtful to young people, and then you're going to use all of your sources that we're going to give to you later, and you've seen these, you know what it looks like, okay? And then the very last thing that you need to know is that you have this. This is eventually going to be your final copy. But we want you to have your thoughts on this Schoology doc, because that way it is easy for us to see your thought process, to have access to be able to help you and give you constructive criticism. Okay. So this is where you're eventually going to get your writing done. All right. Like I said, I will put these two in there as well. All right.